The human somatic cell contains two sets of chromosomes, making it diploid. To be specific, a human somatic cell has 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 chromosomes in total. One set is inherited from each parent. Each chromosome is composed of four different types of deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA nitrogenous bases. On the other hand, genes are segments of DNA that are contained in chromosomes. It consists of information that gives specific instructions to make proteins. Hence, genes determine the traits of an organism, including humans. Since humans inherit one set of chromosomes from each parent, traits or characteristics can be passed down to their offspring. Child 2008. However, diseases like genetic disorders in humans are caused by acquired mutation or inherited from each parent. To elaborate, mutation takes place when there is changes in the sequences of DNA that occurs during person's life, and it can be inherited from the parents since it is contained in genes, although some mutations are not inherited and only occurs either randomly or due to environmental exposures. National Human Genome Research Institute, 2019.
These genetic disorders are difficult to treat and simple medications most often doesn't work. Gene therapy involves modifying or introducing genes into a patient's body in order to treat, prevent, or perhaps cure an illness. It manipulates the patient's cells using the genetic material for the therapy of a hereditary or acquired disease. In 1990, a gene therapy experiment on ADA-SCID in the US was approved by the FDA after the successful treatment of Ashanti de Silva. Following that are 1,700 clinical trials that have been performed on patients with varying techniques and genes for several diseases. By the end of 1993, it had been approved for medication on genetic disorders, and up-to-date practices are focused on treating cancer and AIDS. With the help of our current technology, these types of medications are only going to get better and more efficient in treating diseases. In this discussion, we will be deliberating the impacts, challenges, future of genetic engineering, and the group's judgment on the issue of gene therapy.
Going into detail about the perspectives on gene-based therapy, assessment of the public's knowledge, according to Egbuse et al., most of the public with underlying gene-based disorders are ignorant and have no prior knowledge regarding gene therapy. They have therapeutic misconceptions that are mostly based on opinions and not facts. The public is also split into two factions regarding gene therapy. Most of the public concur with gene-based therapy, especially those with underlying gene-based disorders. Once the full concept was explained to them, they disregard most of the risks involved. There are also those who have reservations because of the potential ethical issues and liabilities it may offer. The possible ethical concerns regarding gene therapy involve the usage of human embryos for testing and experimentation. Genetically modified humans may also be possible in the future, causing further divide among humans. Genetically modified humans can also be given phenotypic traits or optimum phenotypic traits that can be weaponized or used as war.
Gene therapy is intended to append hereditary material into cells to make up an abnormal gene or to make a gainful protein. For an instance, an mutated gene causes the vital protein to be missing or broken. Gene therapy has the option to present a normal gene in order to reestablish the capacity of the protein. Additionally, the genome altering strategy known as CRISPR has the ability to cut a particular DNA sequence and supplant it with another one that may cure illnesses brought about by the deficient genes. On the other hand, conducting gene therapy also has risk in a certain patient. Viral vectors are said to be the preferred platform for gene delivery. When the viral genome is supplanted with a therapeutic gene cassette, stripping the virus of their replicative and pathogenic attributes, such vectors are appropriate as gene transfer vehicles. However, immune system might see the newly introduced viruses as introduced, resulting to inflammation to the body. As the virus can affect not only one type of cell, healthy ones may also be damaged and cause illnesses as well. Furthermore, a viral vector-based gene therapy can cause disease when it embeds its hereditary payload in or almost near the gene that can cause the development of malignant cells.
The challenges of gene-based therapeutic approaches are generally of its ethical concerns and is as follows. Distinguishing the good from the bad uses of gene therapy, deciding which traits are considered a disability or disorder and which ones are the normal one. Questions like, will gene therapy be available to those who are rich? Or will it make society less accepting of people who are genetically different? Or will it be allowed to enhance or modify basic human traits such as height, eye color, athletic skills, and more? Further research is needed in order to balance out these challenges of gene-based therapeutic approaches so that in the future, those in need will be able to utilize it.
With regards to our group's opinion on the ethical aspect of gene based therapy, we think that ethical issues must be first addressed before allowing the technology out into the public. Questions such as how do you distinguish the good and bad uses of gene therapy? Who will decide which traits are normal and which constitute a disability or a disorder? Should the usage of gene based therapy for the enhancement of basic human traits such as height, intelligence, or athletic ability be allowed? Will it lower society's tolerance for imperfections? And the most controversial question of all, are we playing God? All these questions fall under the fact that more than developing the technology itself, clear policies and ethical standards must be established in order to ensure that gene based therapy is equally accessible and will not be abused.
The poster provided below shows the idea of gene therapy and its implications to our society. Humanity should practice it with an equal rights system, regardless of societal status, making it as a science for the people. With the government, we can ensure that regulations can be put in place to have equitable access to rich and the marginalized. Next is our social responsibility. We should not only focus on our own health, rather, we should care about the health of others too. As part of science community, we should contemplate what society wants to tell us, may it be the public's needs, interests, priorities, and the likes. Unfortunately, this generates a negative perspective on what society considers normal, consequently increasing the discrimination for those having undesirable traits. However, through ethical and social considerations, regulations are being employed to counteract this kind of view, like the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act of 2008 in the US.
The arrival of gene-based therapies are definitely a welcome development, as it can provide cure to some acquired but mostly inheritable diseases. Examples are HIV, lymphoma, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, various leukemias, and adenoleukodystrophy. These diseases do not have very promising treatments. However, there exist concerns for gene-based therapies. For one, it is still considered as an experimental treatment, and the patients are similar to being test subjects. The potential side effects that they face include tumors and cancers if the wrong cells are targeted. Severe immune reactions may also ensue when viral vectors are attacked by the immune system. But this concern is only emphasizes the need for further research in the field to make it more safe and effective. In particular, we have to focus on finding ways to mimic the patient's disease in biological models and trying out the treatment in these models prior to its administration to the patient.
Before looking into the future, let us first remember the notable events regarding gene therapy so we will have an idea as to where we are heading. So here it is. Today we are filled with questions and maybe fear whenever we hear that there are incurable genetic diseases that may lead to death. But years from now, everything will have answers as gene therapy is already within our reach. Sooner, it will be an acceptable treatment option in medicine along with the use of advanced technologies. So imagine the children or people that have life-limiting illnesses such as progeria and cancer will be given a chance to live their life to the fullest. Or those with hereditary retinal or muscular dystrophies which made them incapable of doing daily tasks may again function well after a single injection to correct their gene. In the years to come, gene therapy will be able to utilize its full potential in treating and preventing complications about gene abnormalities.
There is a possibility for the gene therapy to be enhanced and further developed so that its risks or negative effects may be minimized while making it more accessible, affordable, and enhanced medicine as we approach the near future. In year 2019, it was recorded that the gene therapy, as approved in the United States, costs over $1 million. However, through its constant improvement and development, it is not impossible for it to be cheaper in the future as it continues to progress and become more accessible in almost every part of the world. Moreover, the healthcare system may improve through the continuous study and practice of gene therapy as it aspires to give the patients the chance to be cured from their certain illnesses in such a way that is highly beneficial and focused on them and their needs. Our future depends on the gene based therapeutical approach to achieve the revolutionized phase of medicine.